We are here with Nicolas Sampson, the author of the book on which the film is based, and executive producer of Behind the Mirror, which recently won the Best Thriller Awards at both the Manhattan Film Festival and Mexico International Film Festival. Nicolas, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us what the film is about?
The film is a drama psychological thriller. It's about an author who moves to a small town in upstate New York with his wife. And he begins to come into confrontation with all the locals. He meets an outsider who kind of lures him into sessions with psychedelic substances. And that brings out a shadow self. And that shadow self leads our main character, Xavier, into conflict with the rest of the town regarding development on the riverside, plus a lot of other difference in opinion and life choices.
How did you develop and adapt the story, and were there any changes while developing the story into a screenplay?
Well, the story started as a book, and the book was based basically an epistolary novel. It was two people writing each other letters and emails. One was Xavier, the other was Victor. I wanted through that book to tell a story about the world, about people's different opinions, mostly controversial, and about, especially one of our two characters was in a bad state of mind and was trying to deal with it by having an honest, completely open dialogue with a friend. That eventually morphed into a bigger story, so to adapt it into a screenplay, we had to set the two characters in a town. We gave one a family. He has kids, so he has a background, he has a past. The other became more mysterious. And then we introduced the third character, James, who was the outsider that I mentioned, who comes in and kind of catalyzes the whole procedure, brings out that shadow self that Xavier is dealing with, provokes maybe the questions that we are dealing with. And we're dealing with a few kind of hot potatoes right now. We're dealing with guns, we're dealing with drugs, we deal a little bit with religion. It's mainly about freedom of expression, an individual versus a group, and how far a person will go to explore what he thinks is relevant, is right, and what is he willing to risk in the process to do so.
About the production team, how much Cypriots have contributed to the creative aspect of the film?
Well, the team basically is, we are all Cypriots, and we've known each other since school. We all went to the English school back in the day. It was in the previous century, actually, which is kind of scary to say that right now. But yeah, we were in the same class, three of us. The other one was a bit younger, Minos, the director and producer, who is living in New York. He's been there for 10 years. We'd worked with Minos for a while. Back in school, and then we did a short before Behind the Mirror. That's how we saw that we could work together. With Savas, we've been friends since a long time. Savas is the second executive producer. He's also a finance, in finance, and he has a very good eye for creating a product and creating a lot of goodwill around it. George Kalis is the music composer. He's been writing music for movies for a long time. That's his profession. He's based in LA right now. And we've been working with George since forever. So all of us somehow, step by step, we kind of exchanged ideas, information, and came around. Each of us brought their own element to the movie.
Location scouting is perhaps the most crucial step when it comes to preparing a film shoot. Why did you choose the Hudson River in Athens at Greene County in New York as the location of the film's backdrop?
You've done your research. That's very good. Listen, the Hudson River there is a beautiful, beautiful country. We were lucky to know people there. Nando del Castillo, who plays James and was also line producer in the movie, is living in Hudson. And his wife, Sally, who was also our production designer, also lives there with him. So we got talking, and we said, originally the story was set in Oregon, but we were in New York, so we're not going to cross the whole states to shoot the movie. We said, all right, why don't we go 2 hours from New York City and see what the place is about. The place is called Athens. It intrigued us. Naturally, it was just a nice coincidence. We went up there, and everybody was very friendly. We met all the people. We met the mayor. We met the police chief. We met a lot of locals there who were very friendly, and they welcomed us. So, yeah, it was a factor. They also made us good deals. They made us feel at home. And they were very happy to have us, because Athens was also a place where they showed another movie 10 years ago, War of the Worlds, by Steven Spielberg. The river scenes were shot there, so they were excited to have a movie back. We're a small production, obviously, but still another movie back in Athens. So it helped us a lot.
Were funding, film crew, equipment access, and talent factors for selecting that location?
In a way, I mean, like I said, Nando and Sally were there, and they knew all these people, so we could have a lot of extras who were just excited to be there and participate. Our life was made easier by everyone who just enjoyed having us. Minos is from New York, so he put a team based on people he knew from New York, so it was easy to transport from New York City to set up shop, stay there for 5 weeks that production lasted. And the location, it was just, you know, autumn in New York with the forest of fire, the leaves, it was just beautiful.
In your opinion, do you think that Cyprus can provide all the necessary support in terms of providing services and funding for a film production?
I think that we have some work to do. We can provide some support, but I think we need to first start with the incentives. A movie will start if it makes sense financially. You have to have the money, and you have to make it lucrative for someone to come here, competitive. So we need to introduce some incentives, whether they be through tax or rebates. Somebody has to take the initiative within the administration to provide that legislation. And then, yes, there are people who are interested, because Cyprus is uniquely located. It has a wonderful geography that varies from sea to mountain, as we all know. We advertise it for tourism. We could always advertise it also for the film industry. They would love to be here. So all we need to do is to make it a little bit more enticing for them to come here.
After its global premiere in New York, Behind the Mirror will release in theaters here in Cyprus on October 9th.
October 9th, yeah.
What does it mean to you to show your film to Cyprus audience?
I'm very excited. I think that I'm very curious to see what the reaction will be. I think in Cyprus there's in each of us there is a person who is striving to have his voice heard, to express one's opinion, whether it goes against the norm or not. So I'm very curious to see how people identify with our main character, who is one person against the tide. I mean, our story was a little bit not based, but also there was some reference and inspiration drawn from Socrates, who was one voice, lone voice against the mayhem and madness, let's say, of Athens during a war against Sparta. Maybe Cypriots will identify with that. I think, but all people will. It's universal themes that we have here. So I think it will appeal to the locals. It will appeal, I think, to all kinds of people.
We are looking forward to see the film. Nicola, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Penelope. Thank you very much.